Hello and welcome to the August 14th episode of This Week in Kirkland, the official podcast of the City of Kirkland, bringing you timely topics, noteworthy news, and great giveaways, delivered to you every week. I'm David Wolbrecht, filling in for Jim Lopez, and I'm joined today by
Angela Brown, as
well as two special guests, Daniel Nidzgorski, ecologist with King County Department of Natural Resources and Parks. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you.
And as well as our returning special guest, Ryean-Marie Tuomisto of the city's Storm and Surface Water team. Welcome, Ryean-Marie.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're happy for both of you to join us today. And we're going to be hearing all about the behind the scenes of our beach closures that we hear all about on the podcast. And yeah, just hear about that process and so forth. But before we dive into that, what are both of you doing for fun these days? It's the height of summer. What does that look like for you both?
Well, for me, the height of the summer was spent out at the beach, but not our lake beaches here that I work at. I escaped out to the coast by ocean shores and out on the Pacific Ocean where nothing for miles.
Yes. It's quite lovely out there. Nice. Oh, very good. How about you, Ryan? What do you do?
This August, I have been just enjoying working in the garden, which has been really wonderful, my yard. And tonight, my husband and I are going to go watch our neighbor. He's 6 years old, and he's on a coach pitch baseball game. Okay. So just going out and watching the kids.
Yes.
Yeah, so fun.
Wow, gardens and
baseball.
And baseball, the wee leagues. Oh, excellent. Well, sounds like a lot of fun, and we're excited to circle back with you both and hear about the county's beach testing process. But before we get into all that, here's what's going on this week in Kirkland.
Houghton Beach remains closed to water activities for at least another week. The beach has been closed to water activities since July 29th.
Yeah, so King County, Daniel and his team, will be back to test the water next week. And we look forward to learning so much more about that process later on with our guest. Kirkland's fall and winter recreation season is just around the corner. So from youth sports leagues to art classes, from family adventures to fitness programs, the recreation season promises to be fun.
And as always, set your alarms. Registration opens Wednesday, August 20th at 7 a.m. for Kirkland residents and Thursday, August 21st at 8 a.m. for everybody else. You can explore the activity guide online or pick up a printed copy at KTUB, our community centers, City Hall, or the Juanita Friday Market on August 15th.
And you can save yourself some stress on registration day by updating and creating your account now at kirklandparks.net. And, of course, we'll have that link in the show note.
Yes, if you have kids to register, a pro tip, as a mom who registers her kids. Just updating your account early so that you know what ages your kids are, because if you're signing them up for a program that, their age requirement is there, just get that account ready to go. And then you just go check out with those classes.
Like, click instead of that's the most stressful thing. Is
it
always
can be,
or it's like, I have to reset my password and the clock's ticking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Helps you be ready to go when needed.
Nice.
Well, and after more than 30 years in law enforcement and over 9 years as Kirkland's chief of police, Cherie Harris has announced her retirement.
Big news.
So Chief Harris is celebrated for strengthening community partnerships, advancing department accreditation, and making Kirkland safer, stronger, and more connected.
Yeah, well, bittersweet news for sure. Under her leadership, the department has grown to 159 personnel and has earned a reputation for professionalism across the state. So really, big kudos to Chief Harris.
Deputy Chief St. Jean will step in as interim chief for 1 year with the search for a permanent chief beginning in early 2026. Chief Harris's retirement takes effect September 3rd, and we wish her the very best in this next chapter.
Yeah. And in other Kirkland Police Department news, applications are open now for the Community Police Academy.
Yeah, this 8-week behind-the-scenes program covers everything from K-9 and SWAT to investigations and traffic safety.
Yeah, and the next gun safety class is on August 20th at the Kirkland Justice Center.
That's right. You can learn safe handling, storage, and receive some community resources for responsible gun ownership.
Oh, that's so great. And also, Coffee with a Cop, the next day, it's coming up on August 21st, and that is at the Art of Coffee in Totem Lake.
Yeah, busy week for KPD. You can drop in that day for conversation, questions, and a caffeine boost, but no purchase is necessary. Come for the conversation.
Yeah, nice.
Well, the City Council is on summer recess.
Yeah, so the next regular meeting will be on September 2nd.
More information about the meeting will be included in an upcoming episode.
Well, if you love nature and want to make a difference, this is for you. The Green Kirkland Partnership is recruiting for stewards.
Stewards are volunteers who lead forest restoration projects in our parks.
Yeah, and you don't need prior experience. In fact, there is a free orientation and training that's coming up here in September. You'll learn all about urban forestry, habitat restoration, and volunteer leadership. So really great opportunity.
Love that. Yeah, that sounds really sophisticated.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, during the summer months, sometimes the lush and green vegetation around our city can grow a little too far into our sidewalks and streets.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I've seen it around. A quick reminder, so property owners are responsible for trimming plants that block sidewalks or overhang into streets or sidewalks.
You can help keep the full width of pathways clear so neighbors with strollers, wheelchairs, and everyone can pass safely and comfortably.
Yeah, and a reminder not to blow leaves into the street. Instead, properly dispose of them in your yard waste bin. And speaking of yard waste, our solid waste team is stepping it up again to help our environment. They've rolled out a new waste station pilot at a recent Juanita Friday market.
Yeah, so what is a waste station, you ask? It's a one convenient stop for garbage, recycling, and compost, complete with friendly helpers to make sorting easy. Bonus, there's even a pour-out bucket to keep liquids out of the recycling.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I wonder, though, because I thought you were supposed to dry the container. I usually leave mine upside down in the sink overnight.
Nice.
Because I feel like you also want to try to get, those bottles dried out so that they don't make everything else wet.
Yeah, well, it's a good question. We should get, Kate Schmidt or someone else back on the podcast. Or Gina Chan. They can get all our questions answered.
Yeah, how dry does the container have to be is my personal question.
Yeah, like a 5% or 50%. Or 100%. Well, you can find out these answers and more at the waste station. You can spot those at the Juanita Friday Market on August 15th and at City Hall for All, which you'll hear about in a minute, coming up on September 13th.
Yep, that's right. So a few upcoming events for you to check out. Sea Spot Splash is coming up on Saturday, September 6th at Peter Kirk Pool. It's a dog pool party on the last day of the pool season.
It's the cutest thing.
Woof, woof, hooray.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we also have a blood donation drive coming up August 27th and 28th at City Hall and August 27th at Peter Kirk Community Center. So let's fill the spots, help save some lives.
That's right. Another upcoming event is City Hall for All, which is on September 13th at Kirkland City Hall.
Hey.
You really don't want to miss it. There will be food, performances, a pop-up market, foster animals, a fixer fair, a naming contest for our snowplows, a book swap, and story time, the beloved toy parachute drop from the Kirkland Fire ladder truck, tree giveaways, and more. There's so much to see.
Wow.
The campus will be full, so come and enjoy this free event.
Absolutely. And if you didn't catch all that, reminder, we will have all of the links and more info in the show notes for all of our items. And that brings us to our special guests. Welcome back, Daniel Nidzgorski, ecologist with King County Department of Natural Resources and Parks, as well as Ryean-Marie Tuomisto, the city's storm and surface water team. Welcome back, you both. Thank you for being here. So, Daniel, could you please give us a little bit more introduction about what it is that you do with the county?
Certainly. I work on a number of different projects, most of them with our local lakes. Two of the ones that have had my attention lately, one is our beach bacteria testing that we'll be talking about today. Mm-hmm. And that has a lot of public health interfacing, public communications, really taking the science and putting it directly into action.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes, though, I get to take the data and go into my data cave, learn new statistics, really dive into the analyses. So I'm about to publish a paper on the last 25 years of water quality trends in Lake Washington.
Oh my God.
And just the changes in the lake overall.
Wow.
And then another part of my work is I'm one of the co-leads for our LGBTQ employee affinity resource group there. So I get into a bunch of different things at work.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, congratulations on that paper. I don't know, that sounds
Thank you.
a big longitudinal. Am I using that right word? Is that right?
That is.
Oh,
yeah.
good. Oh, phew. Okay.
Yeah, just looking. It's really cool for me coming in. I have not been working at the county for 25 years, but I get to come in with the long-term data sets and say, well, let's just focus in on the last 25 years and tell the more recent story and have this giant treasure trove of data to work with.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is super cool. Well,
Right.
it sounds like you've been busy in your data cave. And that sounds fun. I'm just getting Batman vibes.
Yeah.
Like,
computers in the walls.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like
much lower
holograms.
tech, but yeah.
Okay, all right.
We appreciate
Near the
you.
shores of Lake Washington.
Well, that's awesome. And Ryean-Marie, could you please remind our listeners your role here at the city?
My role is to work with businesses to teach pollution prevention practices. I give out free resources, do technical advice, educate them on the codes and the compliance to make sure everybody's doing the part to keep pollution out of our surface waters.
Wow, that's great.
Important work.
Yeah. Now, when we say surface waters, I once you like think about the term, it can kind of make sense. But can you give it a is that stuff that's like flowing across the streets, sidewalks? What are we talking about?
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
So when we say surface waters, I'm talking about all of our lakes, our streams, our wetlands. But I also like to include there all the water that, it starts from the sky, whether it's snow, rain, and hits our grounds, streets, sidewalks, parking lots, and flows into those storm drains that you'll see on the private properties or on the street corners. All of those storm drains throughout the city, they're just tunnels where the water enters and then funnels right down to the nearest lake, stream, or wetlands. So what we do is we try to educate people of the many storm drains that we have in the city and how they can prevent the pollution from going into your streams, your lakes, your swimming beaches.
Yeah. And I've heard the only rain down the drain. That's what we're talking about.
Only rain down the drain.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's the
Nice.
point of it. Yeah.
All right, 2 for 2. I got longitudinal and I got rain down the drain. That's good.
Great
Okay.
job.
Good job.
Off to a good start here.
Yeah.
Well, so often on the podcast, we are often talking about what beach is open, what beach is closed, kind of giving the updates to our listeners. And of course, that's something that we also put out on city social media every week, that sort of thing. And it's always quite a curiosity and, sometimes a concern for folks in the community about, why it's closed, what, is there anything we can do about it? So we really wanted to have you both on just so we can talk a little bit more about the behind the scenes of what is this testing process? What are we testing? So forth and so on. So could you, just kind of talk us through a little bit of big picture. What's the collecting and testing of the samples and how does that all work?
Certainly. Every week, our staff from the King County Environmental Lab go out to the beaches. And in Kirkland's beaches, they'll visit every Monday. They'll go and they'll collect 3 water samples because bacteria counts can be really variable even from one bottle to the next within the same swimming beach.
Wow. Okay.
So with 3 samples there, that gives us better data and more reliable decisions. They take it back to the lab, and there the lab will filter out the water and basically grow it on Petri dishes.
Oh, wow.
So that has to incubate for 24 hours to get each individual little bacterium to grow into a colony that's big enough to actually see under a magnifying glass.
Wow.
So Tuesday, the scientists at the lab are counting purple spots on the Petri dish. They're doing there's a combination of what sort of growth medium is on the Petri dish and what temperatures they incubate it at, that they're really just looking for E. coli bacteria.
Okay.
Now, people sometimes hear E. coli and they freak out. It's like, oh my God, is there an E. coli outbreak?
Yeah, right.
That's why you'll notice we actually never say E. coli on our webpage until you get 3 layers down into the methods.
Okay.
Because it's just bacteria. E. coli, there are a few strains that make people sick, but there's thousands and thousands that are just part of our good gut bacteria.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So this is just an indicator that tells us there's poop in the water. It's from a warm-blooded animal, whether people, pets, or wildlife. And poop tends to carry a lot of germs that can make people sick when they go swimming and playing in the water. So if there is too high bacteria, too much poop in the water, there's probably too many germs.
Okay.
So that's where I step in. Public health will get the data from us. We'll send it out to public health, to the city beach managers, and public health will take a look and say, is this too high a risk or not? There's always some risk of getting sick if you go swimming in a lake or, frankly, even a swimming pool.
Right, yeah.
And it's just, is that risk acceptably low or is it higher than we would like?
Okay.
So public health's protocols kick in when roughly 3 to 5% of the people swimming might get sick.
Okay.
If it's more than that, they say that's too high a trade-off. It's better to just close the beach, send them somewhere else.
Okay.
And then they'll send that to the folks at Kirkland or the other cities who actually manage the beach, pull in the lifeguards, put up the stay out of the water signs, My team and I will send it out to the public, put it up on our website, and sometimes social media picks that up. That's usually the city's job. Mm-hmm. So we really try to reach people in a lot of different ways, through the websites, through email and text alerts, social media, and ultimately signs at the beach. Yeah. But we're hoping that people will really get in the habit of checking our website before they go to the beach, because if it's closed, it's a lot easier to find that out when you can look at the website at home, pick a different beach to go to before you're showing up the beach with a bunch of cranky kids in the car and figuring, what do I do next?
Yeah. Got my
your
inflatables and floaties.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's a really robust process, collecting that. And you said 3 bottles or 3 samples are obtained in different points of the lake. So I'm imagining probably closer to the shore, or do they wade in further, depth and all that? Does that matter when you collect the samples?
It does, because if it's just ankle deep water, you're mostly getting that scum that's right up along the shore and a lot of churned up silt. Sure. So they wade in until it's about mid-thigh deep and collect the samples there for a consistency beach to beach. Because as they go further out, bacteria will get even lower. Lake Washington is a really clean body of water. We used to collect samples for bacteria out in Juanita Bay, out in the middle of the lake, and we stopped doing that because it was never anything interesting. Oh. It was just always low bacteria. Even when Juanita Beach was closed, that sample out in the middle of Juanita Bay would have really low bacteria.
Interesting. Okay.
Because the water in Lake Washington comes down the Cedar River. It's from protected watersheds. It comes down Issaquah Creek through Lake Sammamish. And the poop problems that we see are all little local things. So the most common one would be geese at the beach or on the lawn right nearby. And when that goose poop washes in, you get a little blip of poop in the water. We don't have big polluted plumes like some other places do. We have clean water with these little blips of poopy water right near the shore. So I mentioned we test Kirkland's beaches every Monday. It takes 24 hours to incubate the bacteria. We get the results Tuesday afternoon, and the website will be updated that day. If a beach is getting reopened, we actually delay that until first thing the next morning, just to give the city time to take the signs down. Because we don't ever want people looking at our website and saying, oh, the beach is open, and going there to see the signs that say stay out of the water.
Yeah, that's good.
So we've talked to the city staff, and they'll usually take it down either at the very end of the day or first thing the next morning, depending on when they can. So if the beach is closed, we send that out immediately as soon as public health makes that recommendation. But if it's closed, we give a few hours delay to let the signs come down. Yep. But people will sometimes look at the signs and they say, is that accurate? I want to go swimming. Maybe it's out of date. We test the water every week. We let you know the results as soon as we get them. Those signs are always up to date.
Yeah, nice. And so if someone does see on the website that, hey, the beach that they wanted to go to is closed, then they can kind of easily see if there's another beach nearby that maybe they can go instead. Is that right?
That is. We test water at 29 beaches around King County.
Okay.
And here on Lake Washington, you're never that far from another beach. So
yeah, absolutely.
Even when we have a really bad week where 6 beaches are closed, that still leaves more than 20 that are open with good water quality and low bacteria.
Wow. Most
of our beaches have reliably good water quality. When we looked at the last 5 years of data, most of them were good and open more than 95% of the time.
Oh, wow.
So it's all the problems that make the news, but it's then all the other beaches all the rest of the time that we're really blessed with clean water here, even in the cities.
Wow. That's really great. And I mean, it's definitely something that we see and we often hear from, when we ask folks who come on the podcast even, when we ask them, hey, what's the favorite thing about Kirkland? Inevitably, a good 75% are like, well, the beaches, the water, it's definitely something that folks love around here. So, well, and thank you for all you do to kind of help protect everybody and make sure that everyone's swimming, with the most information that they can. So you had mentioned there, it's most often from goose poop or kind of like waterfowl. Is there a way that we know that to be the case, or can you elaborate a little on that?
Certainly. Week by week during the summer, we don't really know what's going on. Our field staff are always observing conditions at the beach, and often their field notes are shortened to the point like goose poop everywhere. So we've got a really good idea of the suspects.
Okay.
But then during the winter, we do have the time to do some more in-depth lab analyses. Our lab actually has a set of 3 biomarkers for other types of bacteria, specific strains that are in human poop, dog poop, or goose poop.
Okay.
They actually had to develop the goose poop biomarker themselves just a few years ago.
Oh,
So we're
fascinating.
starting to get good data now. That I was just looking over last year's data from Houghton Beach, for example, and yes, high goose poop biomarker pretty reliably when that beach was closed.
Okay.
Pair that with seeing goose poop everywhere on the lawn, and it's a
Yeah.
pretty good case.
Okay.
We are always concerned about the possibility of something else, though. So if there's a beach where something makes us a little bit suspicious, especially if there's really high bacteria concentrations, we do start looking into other things. If it's high enough, we'll call the sewer utilities. Almost all the time when there's a sewer problem, we find that out from the sewer utilities before we get any beach samples in. They have ways of detecting that within minutes to hours in most cases.
Oh,
wow.
interesting. So
Yep.
kind of like in the system itself, outside of the beach, like ecosystem, there's systems in place that kind of alert the utility to
Yep.
those. Oh, wow. I didn't know
Most
that.
of the problems they'll have are like at pump stations or pressurized pipes, and all the sensors to make sure it's working right will detect right away if something's wrong, because they want to shut the valves and stop that before it becomes a big problem.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
And usually when there are sewer issues, it's in the winter when there's a lot of rain getting into the system and flooding it out. But there have been a couple incidents in the summer. And if we see something in our beach data that makes us a little bit nervous, we'll call the sewer utilities. And they're always really responsive when we say, hey, we're worried about this, can you check it out? And they take a look.
Got it.
Because if it's sewage, that's more likely to have germs that could get people sick. So we all take that a little more seriously.
Yeah.
And the good news is that those sewer problems are really, really rare at our beaches during the summer.
When you were saying about wintertime and rainwater getting into the pipes, because we don't have combined sewers. So I wanted to clarify that, because I know some of our customers think that. Like, for example, when in Seattle, there's sewer pipes, there's stormwater pipes, and there's combined pipes, because it's an old city. Big story, right, as the city grew. But Kirkland has sewer and stormwater. They don't have combined.
Thank you both. I was born in Kirkland. I grew up in Redmond. I've lived in Kirkland for about 8 years. It sounds as though Juanita Beach used to be, or in the waters in Juanita Beach used to be a lot worse. Is that accurate to say?
That is. Juanita Beach still is closed pretty frequently, but a lot less than it used to be. Probably about 10 years ago, I don't know exactly when, Kirkland Parks really redid Juanita Beach. They put in some landscaping to discourage the geese. You'll see that line of shrubs between some of the grassy area and the beaches. Geese love open grassy area with easy access to the water, and getting in their way is one of the easiest ways to just discourage them and have them go somewhere else.
Divert the geese.
Yep. Yeah, just make it a little bit less friendly. We like big open grassy areas to the beach for swimming in. Geese love it to poop in as well. But they also looked at how water flows around the area, taking some of the drainage and diverting that away from the swim area. Because if there's goose poop on land, it still has to wash into the water near the swim area to be a problem. And if you can get that to flow somewhere else, that's better for the swim area. And the big U-dock that's around the swim area used to have a skirt on it that helped reduce water flow and wave action, make it a little calmer and cozier, and a perfect trap for any poop that does get into the water.
A little petri dish of itself. Yeah.
Basically, yes.
Okay.
So letting more water flow through that, taking advantage of the clean, clear water of Lake Washington to flush that out has been really helpful.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Juanita Beach is also pretty unique that there's a creek right nearby, Juanita Creek, that can influence the beach. And we sampled that as well every week. So that's always something where Ryean-Marie and her team get our data at the end of the year, especially when we've run those human dog or goose biomarkers. And so they can look upstream and actually find some of those sources and fix them.
Wow. Well, yeah, Ryean-Marie, tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue to my work.
Yeah.
So I work with some fantastic coworkers where we work with King County, and we keep an eye on the bacteria data that comes in, and we have fabulous communication. If there is a concern and we're looking at the data, then we source trace it. We go upstream to take a look at the stream all the way up and see if there is anything unusual going on or any other concerns. We do have a monthly monitoring program that occurs in 15 of our City of Kirkland streams.
Oh, wow.
That monitor temperature, pH, dissolved oxygen, conductivity, and turbidity. So they're doing what you say, kind of, a bunch of tests. We're kind of looking at the overall health of the stream.
Okay.
So that happens monthly.
Okay.
And then quarterly, there's some more, they dive a little bit deeper into the analysis. They take some more samples and they get dissolved metals and nitrogen to look at the stream.
Okay.
And all of that data is put into these watershed dashboard that you can find on the website, and those notes will be that info will be in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a lot of work to monitor our streams, a lot of work to make sure that the health of the stream is where it should be, and we're improving it where we can. So fantastic. You want to know about a stream where you live nearby, or another stream, a drainage basin. There's lots of information on the website that we provide.
Wow.
Yeah.
So city staff are kind of like all up in the creeks all the time, thereabouts, kind of sampling, testing it at least every month for kind of some basic data. It sounds like every quarter for a little bit drilling down for some additional data.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and 15, you said. I didn't even know we had 15.
I know.
Streams and creeks.
This is such a sophisticated water. I'm just so impressed by the work you all do. It takes a lot to make sure that the health of the water around here is so great. It's amazing.
Yeah. There's a lot of time and attention. There's a lot of heart in this team that we put a lot of time in there. And they do have, there's 15, and there's many other little smaller streams too. But they do monthly and quarterly, and we take a look at the data. What are we finding? And again, with that data too, if they are finding more concerns, that's where we go out and actually that's when we're talking to residents or businesses to try to find out what's going on, what's making that water quality of concern. Yeah.
You're kind of like detectives. You're like going out, like seeing clues, and then there's so much going on below the surface. Oh, I couldn't help it. Sorry. Yeah. All right.
Yes, the water puns.
Yeah, water puns. Sorry about that. Wow. Well, and so to you both, thank you. I mean, and on behalf of all the folks that really love Kirkland beaches and getting out and swimming, thank you for all the work that you do. And I mean, and Daniel, you mentioned that the testing is not just, obviously not just here in Kirkland. We have 28 that you test.
29 this summer.
29.
We just added another.
Gosh.
Yep.
Hey, all right. So, and so that's really happening countywide. So what's kind of like the landscape out there as far as the beaches go?
So there's different things going on in different places.
Yeah.
Lake Washington, we've talked about that it's one big lake that gets its water from the Cedar River and Issaquah Creek. But we also work on some of the smaller lakes around, like Pine Lake and Beaver Lake out in Sammamish, a few beaches on Lake Sammamish, and some of the smaller beaches down in South King County, and then Green Lake, which everyone seems to either love or hate over in Seattle.
Okay. Got it. Okay, it's a very divisive lake. I understood.
Some people swim there all the time. Some people say they'd never swim there.
Oh, I got it. Okay. I thought we were talking about the path around it. No,
There may be that too, but the bits we hear about are all the water quality and swimming.
I wouldn't get in Green Lake if you paid me.
Well, so see, we're Nate. Oh, and yet the data says a different story?
Yep. So the beaches at the two beaches there on Green Lake East and West, they've got pretty consistently low bacteria.
Okay.
Green Lake will sometimes have toxic algae problems, but it's pretty rare during the summer.
Well, there we
and
go.
that's always something that we watch out for as well. When we're out sampling bacteria, our lab staff also take a bottle for algal toxins, and they're looking around for blooms.
Okay. Nice.
So, many people say they'd never swim in Green Lake or in Lake Washington or other things, because people look at this area and they say, it's a city, it's got to be gross.
Yeah. But actually,
the data tells a different story.
You also mentioned Pine Lake, and that is one of my favorite lakes for swimming. Are there any beaches or lakes or rivers, body of water of any kind, that is consistently, you would be surprised if you had to close it?
Oh, interesting. Nate with the leading question. I like it.
There are a few, and I have been surprised when they closed even this summer.
Oh, okay.
So there have been some, like Magnuson Beach in Seattle is one that rarely closes, but it did earlier this year.
Yeah.
There's Pritchard Island Beach and Kennydale Beach down in the south part of Lake Washington, and Pritchard just closed a few weeks ago.
Wow.
Those are brief, they're infrequent, they do happen, Because when you think about it, like goose poop could be anywhere at any time. A kid's camp used to be one of the more recurrent problems in one of our beaches.
Okay.
And so,
Not goose poop.
well, it's not necessarily kid poop. It could just be stirring everything and tracking it in.
Oh, got it. Goose poop on the shoes.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
And also a lot of the poop, both the bacteria that we test for and also the germs that make people sick, they can live in the sediments in the lake bottom for a while and then get stirred back up into the water column. So it might be goose poop from a few weeks or a month ago that's getting stirred back up that day when there's a lot of people in the water there.
Oh my gosh, there's so much.
So much. Well, and I was wondering, you said that you very rarely like state that, the E. coli bacteria, or it's like pretty deep into the explanation for the closure. And then like you said, there's like an algae in Green Lake. So are there better or worse things to swim in? So like an algae seems worse or slimier than maybe like E. coli if I was paddleboarding, for example. So I guess, is there a better or worse kind of water quality report that people should know about? Or not really? If it's not healthy, it's not healthy.
If it's not healthy, it's not healthy. And we've got so many really, really good options that go for one of those instead.
Yeah, that's great.
But you did mention paddleboarding, and a lot of people kayak and other things. And so many of the swimming beaches will have a little boat launch right next to it. That's something where even when the beach is closed, public health usually says it's fine to go boating.
Okay.
Because stay out of the water, stay in your boat. And then once you get a little bit further offshore to where you're going to be spending almost all of your time, you're in good, clean water again.
That's really
Again,
good.
it's just that small problem washing in from the shore right there.
I see.
That
And
would probably also be why, even if the beach is closed, it might still be safe to eat fish that you could catch in the lake.
Yep. So with the fish, it's a couple of things. Is that, when you clean and prepare and cook, especially the fish, you're not as worried about the germs. They're not going to get sick and germy themselves. So they may have a little bit of the water on them, but that's not the part that you're going to be eating. And even when there is toxic algae that, the fish might be eating smaller zooplankton that eat the algae, so they might have more in their stomach. The recommendation there is to just clean the fish well and discard the guts, which most people are doing, but we do reach out especially to those communities where a whole fish is more of the way that they prepare it, just in those recipes, and say, hey, there's something going on, it really would be a better idea if you just discarded the guts from that.
Wow. So many facets of this. I love this. Thank you, Daniel. It's really fascinating.
Really helpful too.
And so I think just to wrap up, it sounds like you might have 3 key tips for our beach goers. Do you want to lay those on us?
Certainly. Like you mentioned before, number 1 is know before you go. We've got really good information on our website, kingcounty.gov/swimbeach, and you can sign up for email or text alerts there as well.
Awesome.
Just know what's going on with your beach, and that's a good place to find many other options. So that's our second tip is if your favorite beach is closed, you don't have to stay home on the couch. There's plenty of other places you can go, and our website will help you find those. And the third one is to remember that our information is always up to date. We test the water every week, and we update the website, send out the emails right away when things change. So if you see a sign, please believe it and stay out of the water. Go somewhere else, enjoy swimming there, come back next week when it's better.
Oh, fantastic. Well,
Great.
Daniel, thank you so much for making the trek over.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, joining us in the podcast studio. And Ryean-Marie, thanks for making the trek downstairs, joining us in the podcast studio.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I feel like we learned so much. Thank you both for being on. And actually, also quick shout out and thank you to our parks department, because they do so much to actually help try to deter geese from being there, cleaning up goose poop. So much. It's a really interdepartmental team effort. So really thank you to all the teams involved
Thank
here.
you. And don't forget to swing by Coffee with a Cop on Thursday, August 21st.
And that does it for this week. You've been listening to This Week in Kirkland. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Special thanks to Nate Gettleman and Kate Ryan for their behind-the-scenes magic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next episode is August 21st. Until then,
Stay connected, Kirkland.